Good evening, you guys. How are you guys doing this evening? Welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Yes, I am D.Renee, the transformation specialist, and I support women with overcoming obstacles to help them elevate in life and business. So, I can say this now, you guys. I am now a certified transformational life coach, and I am a licensed therapist. And what I do is I support women with rediscovering who they are, helping to increase their self esteem and their self confidence, helping them to be able to eliminate and dispel limiting beliefs so that they can walk freely into their purpose and create the life that they desire to have. So I am super, super, super excited, you guys. So as I just said, I am now certified as a life coach. You don't have to get certified, nor do you have to get a certification, but I am one of those people. I don't know if you guys are, but I am one of those people who love, love, love learning, right? So I thought that I would go back to school so that I can get that information. So I'm super excited that now that I am officially certified as a transformational life coach. So I know you guys have been coming on here and I haven't given a whole lot about my particular background, but I am also the author of Transformation, The Journey Back to Me, The Woman's Guide to Self-Discovery. And so what my book is about, you guys, it's about basically my story. I struggled with, I didn't know who I was. I went through some things as a child, and I kind of was just going throughout life and having poor relationships, not really being able to know who I was, not having the self-esteem that I needed, not having the self-confidence that I needed to be able to walk in the things that I desired to have. And I was just really, really tired. I was a single parent of two kids, and they have two different fathers. They're like almost 6 years apart. But I was just really, really, really tired of the, giving of myself, right, to other people. And people never really appreciated those things. I was giving. And not unbeknownst to me, those were things that I was actually needing, because oftentimes when we're in situations or we're in a vulnerable or a broken state, we give to people what we actually need for ourselves, especially when we're trying to overly please people. We're trying to make sure everybody else is happy, make sure everybody else is okay. But in return, while we're giving so much of ourselves, we're not necessarily getting those things back in return. So I was just really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but I have been there, just really sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I set out on my own journey to rediscovering who I was, because I did not know who I was, number one. Hi, Jaquay. Thank you for joining us. So I'm just telling everybody a little bit about my story and my history as to why I chose and why I am now on the journey in my purpose for now. So as I was saying, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in a place to where I was constantly I was in poor relationships. Hi, Lindia. So I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of going in and out of poor relationships, bad relationships, not necessarily really knowing my value, not necessarily knowing my worth. And so I allowed people to use me, not just as it relates to like a romantic relationship, but this was also like female relationships with friends. This was just family relationships as well as romantic relationships. So I really didn't know who I was. So it allowed me to be vulnerable to a whole lot of different situations. So about 9 or 10 years ago, I set out on my journey to rediscover who I was. And as I did that, I learned a whole lot more about myself. So that has been my purpose, to help other women to be able to rediscover who they are, help them to be able to increase their self-esteem and their self-confidence so that they can walk freely into their purpose and create the life that they desire to have. So that leads me to our topic for tonight. So as I told you guys last week, so on this month of February, we're going to be talking a lot about love, because this is a love month. This is February, and we have Valentine's Day that's coming up on Thursday. Valentine's Day that's coming up on Thursday. So I decided to set out on this series of talking about love. So last week we talked about 10 ways to start back loving yourself. So tonight, our topic is when loving you hurts me, right? So I have 3 ways that you can stop, 3 things that you need to stop immediately and begin to look at and maybe start to change because it's hurting you and it's not bringing you as much value as you desire to have in your situations, whether it's with friends, whether it's in a romantic relationship, whether it's with family, whatever it is. These are 3 things that you need to really pay attention to and evaluate in your situation, right? So the number 1 thing, you guys, is 1, putting other needs before your own. We have all been in situations where we put other needs before our own. Mind you, there are situations where you have to, okay, if you have kids and they need you to be in a certain place, of course you can't just go do your own thing or what have you if they have a program and stuff like that. But you have to be able to create systems in your life to where you can still have some type of me time or some type of time to where you can oh gosh, my mind is the word just kind of slipped my mind real quick, but just some type of time where you can go and get charged back up, right? Because we do so many things and we wear so many hats as women to where sometimes we need that time. So you have to create those type of systems in your life, and so that you can begin to put you first. Like your kids can be involved in certain things, but they don't have to be in 5 and 10 different activities at one time. What about allowing them to choose, okay, you get 2 activities and then, you have a time to where you do something for you. So it's okay for you to put yourself first in that situation. They don't have to be in bands, dance, cheer, sports, all that stuff at one time. You have to have some time for yourself to be able to put yourself first, because the only thing that your family needs from you is for you to give to them out of your highest value, right? Because they can't do that. You can't do that if you're not able to give to them your whole self. And when I say give to them your whole self, is you're not able to give them your whole self if you're constantly tired, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not getting your needs met in the situation. That means you might need a break, you might need some peace, you might need some quiet time. Whatever it is that you need, you have to begin to put yourself first in those particular situations, right? So again, your kids don't have to be in 5 or 6 different things, right? So if you guys like what I'm saying tonight, I would like for you to share, like, because we know that sharing is caring. And sometimes if this information is not for you, then it may be for someone else that can help them. So, but I appreciate you all joining in. So our first thing on when you can tell that loving you hurts me is being able to put yourself first, not putting other people's needs before your own. We all have had some situation to where we were just going out of our way and putting somebody, whether it's a spouse, whether it's children, whether it's a friend, putting their needs before our own. So being able to reevaluate where we are in those particular situations and make room for yourself, because you're going to need that time in order to be able to give your full self to the situation or to your family, to your friends, to your job, or whatever it is. You have to be able to make that time for yourself. Right? So the second thing is ignoring red flags. We have all done this, right? We have all done this. We have all ignored red flags. Red flags are red flags for a reason. That means no, stop, don't, wait, caution, don't, stop, whatever you want to call it. That is the red flag, right? Please, we have to start following our intuition, ladies. We have to. It's there for a reason. God has given us this as a sixth sense, I believe. Like, it's our sixth sense. Like, it is something that helps us to be able to discern danger. It is something that helps us to be able to discern caution, or, it's a warning sign to us to be able to protect us or to be able to protect our family, because sometimes we may even get that unction in the middle of the night, or you may get that feeling that just never goes away, right? This is a feeling that's constantly there, never goes away, and you have to you need to tell somebody not to do something, or you could tell, oh, I have this feeling that this is going to happen, or maybe I don't need to do this, or maybe I don't need to do that. And our intuition is there for a reason, and we have to pay attention to it, because if you don't, you get yourself in bad situations. And I'm not just saying you, because I've been there plenty of times, right? I've ignored it. I didn't listen to it. It was glaring at me, right? It was glaring at you like these bright lights. And we have to just pay attention, and we have to listen to it, because we get ourselves in situations to where it's hurtful to us, and we're not necessarily benefiting from it because we did not pay attention to the red flags, and we already had the warning sign that it was a no from the beginning, right? So when loving you hurts me is when we don't pay attention to the signs, and we still proceed as if we never saw anything. And that's just like running the red light. It's a chance that you're going to get in a car accident, and it's a chance that you just might make it through, right? But you don't want to take that chance, because if you run a red light, it's a possibility that there's another car coming from one side or the other that can smack you right in the side, right in the front, or whatever, and it can end your life. So that's the same thing as it relates to paying attention to the red flags. We have to do that. So that's number 2. And then the last thing, you guys, is giving more than when you're receiving. We have all been in situations. I can't say all. Well, maybe some people, they've just been so perfect, but we have all been in situations to where we're just giving more than we're receiving. And we do that, and we give because we are doing these things because we need people to do those in return for us. That's what we need in life. Now, some of us, we're just givers. Like, I love to give. I love to do things for the community. I love giving back. Like, that's just what I do. I like helping people and see them in their life be better. But when I talk about giving more than you're receiving, meaning giving in a relationship and you're not getting that back in return, whether that's a friendship, a romantic relationship, or in a family situation. Sometimes we give because we are looking and seeking for those people to do the same thing for us. And that's not necessary. And then when we don't get it, our expectations of the situation change. We get angry. We become resentful. We have problems and issues as it relates to that relationship because you're not getting your needs met, but yet this person doesn't know that. So you have to turn the tables around, and you have to make sure that you're putting yourself in situations to where you are actually benefiting from it, where you are actually getting what you need in that situation too. So when loving you hurts me is meaning that you are giving more than you receiving. And that's when it's time to have a conversation. It's time to have those tough and hard conversations. And I was talking to a client tonight that they have to have a tough conversation about the needs of the family, because it's important for them to be able to talk about that, because one person's need isn't getting met over the other person's need. And you have to be able to talk. You have to be able to get your needs met in the situation, right? So when I talk about when loving you hurts me, there are 3 things that we have to pay attention to immediately that we can kind of put some changes to. We can adjust a little bit, and we can have a conversation about in order for us to be able to get our needs met, so that we are not just giving of ourselves to the point that we are depleted, to the point where we're unhappy, to the point where we're not getting what we need out of any of the situations, whether that be a mother, a wife, a sister, a friend, or whatever it is that you are getting what you need, and it's not hurting you to the point to where you love somebody so much that you can't get what you need out of the situation. So there are 3 things, you guys, that we talked about tonight. Is 1, putting others' needs before your own. And we talked about some ways on how you can kind of incorporate some of the things that you need and create systems sometimes around some of the things that your children and your husband have to do, so that you can incorporate yourself in that particular situation, in addition to not going out of your way to allow people to use you. and not allowing, you don't have to give your last to somebody else and then you have to sit here and worry about, you know, if you have gas money to get to the next day or not, if you're going to be able to get to work, if you're going to be like, you don't have to feel guilty about not doing that, because if you need it, you need it. And you don't have to feel, you don't have to feel some type of way as if you're not a good friend or you're not a good person because you're not giving everything that you have. It's okay to put your needs before other people's needs. It's okay. And I'm coming from somebody who likes to give. I love doing things. I love giving. I love doing all those things, but you have to put things in perspective. If I got it, if I have extra, I love doing it. But I'm not going to take from me in order to be able to do X, Y, and Z. If God say do it, then I do it. But when loving yourself hurts you is when you're continuously putting other people's needs before your own. And that can come in any form. Number 2, ignoring the red flags, paying attention to your intuition, trying to stay in situations that doesn't necessarily fit when you already had the sign, the warning, the signal that that's a no. You don't do it. And then the fear of losing something. You're afraid to let go of something because you have a fear of staying and staying there, even though all the red flags are there. There are many, many signs that it's time to let go because it's hurting you, it's killing you, it's depleting you. It has you sad, depressed, upset, mad, angry, bitter, all of these things. And that's not the way it should be. That's not the way that it should be. It was never intended for it to be that way. That thing was never intended to be there because the red flags was there from the beginning. So we should have proceeded with caution instead of going full speed ahead through the caution light, right? So number 3 is giving more than you're receiving. It's a way to correct that, you guys. We have to adjust that. Make sure that you are getting something. And that don't mean, you know, intimately. That ain't nothing. But what you are getting is fulfilling for you. Whether you are looking at the 5 love languages and you get your emotional needs that are not being met, that needs to be met, and you're giving more and he's not giving more, or your friend or your family, and you're giving, you're constantly going out your way for them and doing stuff for them, and then unappreciative and things like that. These are the things that we have to pay attention to, you guys. Okay. So 3 things to stop doing or to adjust and to change to start back loving yourself. Because when loving other people hurts you, it's important that you begin to put you first. Okay. And I am D.Renee, the transformation specialist, you guys. I support women with overcoming obstacles to help you elevate in life and business. If I can support you in any way, please click book now on this page. You can click book now, complete the interest application. Tell me a little bit about you so I can know a little bit about you before we speak. And then you can schedule an appointment for a free discovery session for us to speak. Also, go to my website at drenee.org. Sign up for my email list. I send out some great things on my email list about what we're doing, some great inspirational things to kind of keep you uplifted, talking about transformation. So tomorrow you can join me here at 8 p.m. for our meeting in the ladies' room conversation. We have fishbowl conversations that talks about just basically anything that we pick out of the bowl. That's what we discuss on live, and we have interaction with the audience too. So I have those things that's coming up. And also I'm going to start going live on Instagram on Thursdays. So I'm going to have Transformation Thursday on Instagram. I'm going to be talking about different topics. So it's not going to be the same thing as Transformation Tuesday. That's over here on Facebook. So I look forward to seeing you guys back here next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday for meeting in the lady room conversations at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on Instagram at D.Renee_TLCCS on Instagram. You guys have a great night.